Now, you're not going to show her face.
Okay.
So just the side, okay? And she's going to talk as I ask questions. My friend's going to be on this side of me. Okay?
It's just the Three Stooges.
We're out in front of Hope Clinic. Approximately 36 babies are inside there now. It's a high killing day, and it's only 6 days before Christmas. And my prayer warriors are out here with me. And we have lay persons, we have professional persons out here with me. And we were talking about healthcare and the issues that we're seeing happening with healthcare. Because years before, and when I was working in the hospitals, we were always there, and the sanctity of life was really prevalent. And we've noticed in recent years, really a lot of euthanasia is happening in our hospitals. And, in the pro-life, people don't want to believe that the healthcare system would prop up euthanasia, just like being pro-choice. We're seeing a lot of that in hospitals too, amongst hospital care workers. It's almost like you've got to be a hidden closet pro-lifer now, in healthcare, because you get kind of marked, and you get that stigma, and it follows you around in the healthcare system. So we're going to talk to our professional right now, and you had some good pointers talking about what you see where you work, and we're not going to mention the hospital or where at, but you're seeing more people dying in the hospital that don't need to die. Why is that?
I see a lot of similarities between pro-choice abortion and the elderly. It seems like professionals think they can decide when a person gets to live and when a person gets to die. And mainly we see that in the elderly and in people with comorbidities, COPD, heart failure, who come to the hospital month after month after month, and they are suffering. Therefore, health professionals will say, we've seen this before, you don't have many years left, you're going to keep coming back to the hospital, you should think about, and they say this using verbal gymnastics, but basically, don't try and fight anymore. Just give in. And so they'll talk to them in these visits, and they'll get a plan set up. So when the day comes, they don't take them to the ICU. They don't do extreme measures. Basically, when they start to suffer, they let them go.
And they use new words now, as we said earlier, verbal gymnastics.
Yes.
They did the same thing back in the Nazi Holocaust. If anyone remembers our history, they did this where they would say different words to make it more palatable. And isn't it ironic that now they're not using the word euthanize, they're using palliative treatment, which is the first step before they euthanize a patient that they feel is defective and their life is not worth much. Let's just go ahead and help them die.
They also use the term quality of life, which it's important. However, it's not up to them to decide what your quality of life is, when you're going to die, if you want to keep fighting. That's up to you. And I've heard physicians respond to events like this in the hospital, and they say this is just a waste of resources. So yeah, it's if you're young, if your mother doesn't want you, if you're old, it's both ways. It's
right here, like at the abortion mill today, the slaughterhouse. You would not believe how many mothers were in line here to kill babies gleefully, joyfully, couldn't wait to get in there, and a lot of them were advanced in their pregnancies. And it's this culture, it's in the the pro-life, the stages early with pregnancies, and it's as women are aging people, in the hospital system. And it's just shocking how we've become such a culture of death. And now I'm going to switch gears here and talk to my layperson here, because you had made some comments too when you saw how many women, how far advanced they were standing in line to kill babies. It's just unbelievable.
We have just become so accustomed to the idea of if you don't want to get rid of it. And I think as she was saying, that with the elderly, we're doing the same thing. And because we've now have abortions for 45 years.
Yes.
So we've become like, so what? They were born with it. Their parents were born with abortion around. if you're lucky, you get chosen. If not, too bad, we get rid of you. So I do feel that
Yeah.
we're very much a throwaway society. If it's a burden, get rid of it.
Right, and it's like a genocide. It's total genocide culture that we have now. And if I were you, I would have a living will. And I hope that would, stand at the hospitals. But I would do that. It's just a shame that we are so entrenched in getting rid of things that we don't deem quality, or it's an inconvenience. Exactly what history tells us is what we're living out here on the
Very much a
sidewalks.
disposable society.
We are
Disposable
very-
diapers, disposable everything, disposable. If it, get rid of it.
And you never know, they may be coming for you next. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, I'm not weirding out here. It's frightening what we're seeing here. And a lot of our people don't see it. I don't want to call them ignorant, but they don't have this knowledge because they are not seeing it. They're not working in the hospitals with it. They're not working out here on the sidewalks with us with it. So we're bringing this to you today, and I hope maybe it makes some people think today.